energy, Maya, wandering and wandering throughout the universe. He may be
by chance.
he may by chance get the association of a devotee physician whose instructions whose instructions and hymns make the witch of the external energy flee. The conditioned soul thus gets into touch with devotional service to Lord Krishna, and in this way he can approach nearer and nearer to the Lord.
So it kind of summarizes what we discussed until this point. Excuse me. So living entity is controlled by so living entity is controlled by several vices. Kam and Krodh are primary. What is Kam? Kam means lusty desires. Lusty desire means that something, I want everything for my own satisfaction. Right? It's a very selfish inner desire wherein a person does not care about anyone else. They just want to, fulfill or satisfy their own selfish desires. So that is called lust. Kama krodhir dasahana taralathi khai. So when a living entity is under the control of Kam and Krodh, which is lust and anger gives lust gives rise to anger. What is anger? Anger is unfulfilled desires. Everybody has desires in this world. They can be legitimate and illegitimate desires. But if we want to fulfill all our desires and for some reason they do not get fulfilled, what happens next? We become angry. What is the cause? What is the real cause of our anger? The real cause of our anger is that some of our desire was not fulfilled. Whether it was desired to be, to be respected, or whether it was desired to acquire something, anything like that. And that's what Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita as well. Dhyato vishayam pumsa sangateshu pujayate sangat sanjayate kama kamat krodha vijayate krodhat bhavati sammoha sammoha smriti viprama smriti bhamshat buddhinasho buddhinashat pranashyati. Dhyato vishayam pumsa. When we constantly meditate on the sense objects, there are so many things we acquire in this world. We constantly meditate on that. Sangat teshu pujayate. We become attached to them. Even before possessing something, we become attached to it. Sangat teshu pujayate. Sangat sanjayate kama. From that attachment comes lust. Kama. Kamat krodha vijayate. And lust gives rise to anger. So, anger management. If we want to control our anger, we should try to get hold of illegitimate desires. Of course, we cannot live without desires. We all, have material desires. So, to kind of, pursue through our life, but we need to be control of our desires. And then, Krodha adbhavati sammoha, sammoha smriti viprama. By Krodha, we become sammoha. So we get sammoha. Sammoha smriti viprama. Smriti means memory. Memory is lost. We get illusioned and then memory is lost. Smriti bhamshat buddhi nasho. When our memory is lost, the intelligence is, what happens to intelligence? Buddhi nasha. Intelligence is destroyed. Buddhi nasha pranashyati, and we fall down into the material pool, suffering. So this is what this shloka is also saying, that living entity is constantly getting the beating of kama, krodha and all these things. And then what happens? Bhramite, wandering throughout this creation, back and forth, unlimited times. What happens? Yadi sadhu vedhe pare. If by any chance, and that chance does not happen automatically as well, which we are going to get into next, but yadi sadhu vedhe pare, if somebody finds a physician called sadhu, tanar upachar upadesha mantre pishachi mitra. So what sadhu does is, the process of bhakti begins with Shraddha, Ado Shraddha, Tatha Sadhu Sangha. So we need to have some faith in our heart. And when Krishna sees that faith, and this is again, I'm going back and forth, so apologize me if something is not clear. We'll try to summarize that at the end. But Ado, with some Shraddha, we get, Krishna sends us Sadhu. So we need to have some kind of faith in our heart. When we come in contact with sadhu, what sadhu does is, Sadhu gives us bhajan kriya, right? That is devotional service. Ado shraddha tatha sadhu sang tatha bhajan kriya. So we get bhajan kriya. So this is what the shloka is saying. Sadhu vedde paye tanar upadesh mantre. Sadhu gives ek mantra. Krishna bhakti paye tabhe Krishna nikataye. Then that through that process one gets Krishna bhakti. That through that mantra, as Srila Prabhupada came into the Western world, he said, I'm not giving you anything new. I'm giving you something which is already there, but I am just transmitting it in your language so that you can accept it and practice in your life and become happy and peaceful. So that this is what our current condition is. Anyway, this is also known as the gateways to hell: Kam, Krodh, and Lobh. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Trividham narkayedam narkashidam dwaram nasham atmana kam krodhas tatha lobha tasmadetam trayam. There are three gates leading to this hell: lust, anger, and greed. Every sane man should give these up, for they lead to the degradation of the soul. So Krishna is saying that we should give these up. So our only hope, as we've been discussing, is sadhu sangha. ब्रह्मांड भ्रमिते कौन भाग्यवान जीव गुरु कृष्ण प्रसादे पाए भक्ति लता बीज. So there are unlimited living entities wandering in this universe, but who is fortunate? One who gets the mercy of Guru and Krishna. Guru Krishna prasade paye bhakti lata bij. So Guru and Krishna both are included here. It is not only Krishna or only Guru, because we need to have done some kind of work through which Krishna would send us a sadhu, and by the mercy of sadhu we get the process, and following that process we get Krishna. So we also say, when Krishna is merciful upon us, he sends us a Guru, and when Guru is merciful upon us, he gives us Krishna. So both are required. Oftentimes we ignore one or the other, and in general, people ignore the Guru or sadhu. Of course, with Kali Yuga progressing, we see so many bogus people as well. But within ISKCON, we are talking about only genuine sadhus, because if a sadhu or a devotee in ISKCON is not, following the standards, or something is, a haywire with them, they are immediately removed. So this is why in ISKCON we have the check and balance. Anybody who comes in contact with ISKCON sadhus, they would not go wrong, right? So anyway, this is what this shloka is saying, that our only hope is getting sadhu sangha. But to get sadhu sangha, we need to earn something, and we need to earn some pious credit, which is also called bhakti unmukhi sukriti. Otherwise, sadhu sangha is also not attained accidentally, as I was saying. So Bhakti Vinod Thakur sings in this beautiful song from Sharanagati book, Shuddha Bhakata Charan Renu Bhajana Nukula Bhakat Seva Param Siddhi Premlati Karmula. The dust of the lotus feet of pure devotees, enthusiastic devotional service, and service to the pure devotees of the highest order are the roots of the creeper of devotion. So, if we have come into contact with a sadhu, and of course I said before that we must have had some shraddha, there is also one thing which is very, very important, is that we may have accidentally or deliberately served some sadhu, right, and earned some kind of, or the Lord, and earned some kind of bhakti unmukhi sukriti, right? So bhakti unmukhi sukriti is, it is not the pious karma that we do in our life. Sometimes, there are pious karmas as well, like, you help the poor, you give, you help the needy, and you open hospitals, you open schools. These are all good karmas, of course. And these are also called pious karmas. But here we are talking about bhakti unmukhi sukriti. These are sukritis, which are good deeds. Sukriti means, su means good, sukriti means good deeds. So these are good deeds, but we're talking about bhakti unmukhi sukriti. So bhakti unmukhi sukriti is those good deeds which give us the seed of devotion. So many things like that, as again, back to you, as you were saying, temple is run, with so many things, so many services are required. There's cooking service, there's cleaning service, there are deity worship services. So many other, right? Driving services, some devotees drive, get groceries. Each and everything is important. And if if we fail to contribute in any of these services, then obviously we are not, the temple may struggle. But anyway, if somebody, even somebody who's not connected to the temple, they accidentally, knowingly, unknowingly come in contact with devotees, help the Lord, help the devotees, help run the temple, do any kind of bhakti and mukhi sukriti. That is what gives them that pious credit through which they come in contact with devotees. So bhakti and mukhi sukriti is required to come in contact with devotees. So this is what. And then what happens with bhakti and mukhi sukriti? It bestows sadhu sangha. So this particular shloka from Srimad Bhagavatam is saying, I'm not going to recite the shloka, it's saying, when the material life of a wandering soul has ceased, O Achyut, he may attain the association of your devotees. And when he associates with them, there awakens in him devotion and dream, who are the goal of the devotees and the Lord of all causes and their effects. So again, we are constantly repeating the same point over and over again as to the steps of the process. We must have done, this shloka says, Achyut Sat Samagama. Achyut Sat Samagama means that we have come in contact with Sat Achyut. Achyut means Krishna, who is not fallible. Achyut Sat Samagama. Devotees of the Lord, if we have come in contact with, that means we must have done or earned some type of bhakti mukhi sukriti. So that gives us sadhu sangha. And then sadhu sangha awakens our Shraddha. Sadhu sange Krishna bhakti Shraddha yadi hai, bhakti phal prema hai, samsar jai jaya. Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Leela. By associating with a devotee, one awakens his faith in devotional service to Krishna. Because of devotional service, one's dormant love for Krishna awakens, and thus one's material conditioned existence comes to an end. So again, same message, we're pulling from different sources, trying to pull all cords just to kind of help us understand that only by associating with a devotee, we can get Krishna Bhakti, and by Krishna Bhakti, our dormant love for Krishna, we can. Why is it called dormant? It is not that Krishna love has to be, gotten from anywhere, because it's already there in our heart. Every living entity, because we are all part and parcel of Krishna. So we have that love in our heart for Krishna already. We just need to reawaken that or re-establish that forgotten relationship with the Lord. And that I'm going to ask you how that forgotten relationship is re-established. By, is everybody following what we are discussing here? I hope I'm not making everyone sleep here. But that process of bhakti, what is that process of bhakti? How does that work? Let's hear from the audience. Anybody? Chanting the holy name. How does that work? Anybody here who has ever chanted, or who have ever chanted the names of the Lord? Like, for example, in ISKCON we say Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So these are the names of the Lord specifically recommended for this day and age in Kali Santran Upanishad. Lord Brahma says, Iti Shodashakam Nam Kali Kalmashanashanam Nato Partarho Pai Sarva Vedeshu Drishyate. That after looking into all the Vedas, I am giving you this particular process, this mantra. All the names of the Lord are powerful. They have potency. But for this day and age, Brahmaji is saying only these 16 names. Iti Shodashakam Nam. This is going to destroy Kali Yuga. So how this process works? This process works because the Lord and His name are absolute in nature. We in this world are aware of the relative concept. There may be many science students here. So the concept of relativity is, when the object and its things associated with it. There's a concept of relativity. Just you can try to understand that with an example. For example, this cup of water can quench my thirst, but I have to drink it to be able to satisfy my thirst. Just saying water over and over again is not going to help. So I have to drink the water. This is called the concept of relativity. When the object and its properties are different. But when we say Krishna, 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 hey, these are names of Krishna. So this is absolute concept, because the Lord, His names, His paraphernalia, His pastimes, His associates, all of them are absolute, non-different. Meaning, it's not the concept of Mayavadi Siddhanta that everything is one. The benefit of all that is one. Whether you come in personal association of the Lord, His devotees, His paraphernalia, the process that we follow, His devotees, eating His prasadam, honoring His prasadam, doing anything in connection with the Lord, chanting His names, they are all abhinnatva nama namino. There is no difference between the Lord and His names. So this is how the process works. It's a very scientific process, is what I wanted to explain. That okay, you may think, oh, I have to. You are saying that okay, following the process of bhakti, we will become what we will get from the audience. We'll get what? Some of the needy devotees, if no one answers. I already said it. What happens when you follow the process of bhakti? What do you get? What's the end result? Yeah. I hope if you can stop me and we can just go over something is not clear, but the idea is we can just, it's a very simple message, but we are able to impart it clearly to everyone. So anyway, we get connected to Krishna, and we get to go back to His home, because that's what makes us eligible to go back home. And then also and that happens through bhakti. Bhakti means it's a process of loving the Lord. So anyway, that's what this is saying, and which means our material condition existence comes to an end. Who doesn't want to end their material condition existence here? Who want to stay in this world and think, oh, this is the best place I've ever been to? Anybody here who has never had any, miserable or any, bad thing happening to them in their life? Anybody? Seriously? Because Krishna is confirming that. He's saying this place is dukkhale ashashvata. There are two important qualities of this, or I should say disqualities of this material creation, that it is dukkhale. Right? Everybody understand little Sanskrit or Hindi? What is pustakale? Where you get books, right? And madirale, where you get liquor. So dukkhale. Are you going to get something very fancy out of it? No, you're going to get dukh. And who is saying that? The creator of this entire creation is saying that this is dukkhale. And the other aspect it is that it is ashashvata. Ashashvata means it's temporary. Anything that we get in this world, and we can experience that, right? That's, as I said, anybody who has not experienced misery in their life, no, everybody goes through it daily. It's a daily struggle, right? Prabhupada used to call it struggle for existence, right? Prabhupada say, an animal is running on 4 legs and people are running on 4 wheels, right? Struggle for existence, because we want to make our ends meet, we want to fulfill our desires, work hard every single day, working with our bosses and so many different difficult people in our life, and just try to challenge our way through all these struggles, just so we can fulfill some of our desires. So this world is not a very happy place to be in, yet this is our only chance and hope to get to the better part of the creation, which is the spiritual world. So anyway, so that anybody who comes in contact with devotees, follow the process of bhakti, follow the prescribed rules and regulations and process, they get their material condition comes to an end. But what is the definition of Shraddha? Because that's where we started, that you must have some Shraddha, right? We sit on an airplane, not having seen the face of the pilot, and yet we believe that this person is going to take me safely through my destination, right? Sometimes, when we go to the other part of the world, for example, I just recently came from India. So, we are on a 14-15 hour flight. Half of the time, we try to sleep so that we can somehow, pass through that journey easily. But we haven't seen the face of the pilot. So we haven't even seen the pilot. Yet we trust. We have some faith. Know that the airline must have done their due diligence. Yes? Because we trust their process. Similarly, when we go into schools, colleges, universities, we believe that system. Many of us may be doctors, engineers, other professionals here. All of us, we followed a certain process. We followed a certain school, a certain education system, because we believed in that yes, following this course or this study program, I am going to graduate as a medical person or an engineer or whatever. And then we followed that process, we got a result. So Shraddha, my point is needed in everything in life. We cannot have Shraddha, we cannot live without not having Shraddha. Right? Everything, before taking the step down from our bed, we have Shraddha that I'm going to live through this day. That's how I have planned my day. Starting, first thing, okay, these are all the to-do things in my life, but who knows what happens next? You cannot promise. But still we have Shraddha, we have faith that no, I'm going to live through this day and I'll be able to achieve what I desire to. So Shraddha Shabde Vishwas Karo Sudhrid Nishchay Krishna Bhakti Kar Kaile Sarva Karma Krita Hai. That Shraddha, the real meaning of Shraddha is that Shraddha is Vishwas. That you should have firm faith. In what? Vishwas kare, Sudhrid Nishchay. You have strong determination in Krishna Bhakti Kaile Karma Kaile Sarva Karma Krita Hai. And if I perform Krishna Bhakti, if I perform the devotional process, I would have performed the most important objective of my entire existence and everything else. We are not followers of any lazy organization, here. We call this on purpose. Prabhupada call this on purpose as movement. This is called the Krishna consciousness movement, because we want our people to keep moving. We don't want them to sit at one place and not do anything. So we do everything that is required in our day-to-day lives. Yet we have Shraddha that if we are performing Krishna Bhakti, all my activities, it means we still perform duties towards our parents, our family members, our society, our bosses, everything, whoever we are, indebted to. But by doing Krishna Bhakti, from a karmic standpoint, we do not owe them anything from a karmic standpoint. Yet, for all practical purposes, we still do those exchanges. We do our duties because Krishna doesn't want, his devotees to, to be accused of being lazy. That's why he gave Bhagavad Gita, that we all follow Bhagavad Gita. Arjuna is saying, no, I'll go to a forest and chant Hare Krishna. Krishna says, no, I don't want you to do that. I want you to do your duty. I want you to be, you are a Kshatriya. I want you to fight. So we must do our duties, but Shraddha, inside we should have a very, very strong faith that by following this, I'm going to be, I would have completed all my duties. So that is the meaning of Shraddha. Again, I already gave the different steps of the process in the beginning, and now we're touching them one by one, that how these are important. So Shraddha was the original thing. And now this is one other important point, which says, pure sadhus deliver even the offenders. So a lot of times, again, another practical thing, as this is again something which I was saying in the beginning, that oftentimes we come to the temple, we believe in the lordships, and I can say about myself, more than anybody else, I'm not judging anyone here. When I came first to an ISKCON temple, and I had darshan of the deities, not this one, some other temple, obviously, my first few visits would be just looking at the deities, the most attractive ones, and all of the deity forms also I would ignore. And then all those people standing or sitting in the pictures there, I don't think they're important, right? I would ignore them. However, later on, as I learned a little more, I understood it is only because of these people who are our acharyas that we have received the deity incarnation of the Lord. So point again is that we cannot ignore the devotees at all. If we are serious about bhakti, if we are serious about our sadhana, if we are serious about our Krishna consciousness, we must not. Of course, now this gets into the discussion of different levels of devotees, because not all devotees are the same. Because devotional, we call it devotional process. It's a process, meaning everybody's going through a process, and they are all at different levels. And that's another science and an art as well, how to deal with different types of devotees, which we covered last week, which is again can be taken in more detail. There are Kanishta Adhikaris, Madhyam Adhikaris, Uttam Adhikaris, and we cannot treat them all at the same level. That's a totally different thing, right? Because we cannot give Uttam Adhikari, as Maharaj was saying last time, we cannot give Uttam Adhikari the respect of a Kanishta. Kanishta Adhikari means who's very beginner, neophyte devotee. So we cannot give the respect of a neophyte devotee to an Uttam, topmost devotee. Because what are we are going to commit a grave offense in doing that. And yet, I have personally seen where devotees, they even discriminate between several of Srila Prabhupada disciples, within our movement. They discriminate. Oh, this particular sadhu or devotee is close to me. I know them. I'm more close to them, and so I can just avoid everybody else. And it's not just at the level of Uttam Adhikaris. It's at the level of Madhyam and Kanishtas as well, because there are 6 kinds of Vaishnava offenses. Anybody knows here about the 6 Vaishnava offenses? Yes. Hanti nindati vaidveshti Vaishnavana vinandati Grandati upajayate na harsham darshane patnani sat. There are 6 types of Vaishnava offenses. Hanti, beating the Vaishnavas. Of course, I hope nobody is doing that here. Beating the Vaishnavas. Nindati, which means doing ninda, talking ill about other Vaishnavas, right? Vaidveshti, being envious of other Vaishnavas. Oh, this devotee is doing so much more service than me. He is distributing more books than me. He is preaching more than me. He is making more devotees than me. So I become envious of them. We should be happy. People are coming into Krishna consciousness. More and more people are joining. Why not be happy about it? If somebody who's connected to us, they are making more devotees than us, we should be happy about it. Because this is the sign that our movement is growing. And more people will come close to Krishna. Why be envious about it? Right? Vaidveshti. Vaishnava na abhinandati. So first 3 things, still, devotees kind of try to avoid. Vaishnava na abhinandati. Very, very difficult thing. Devotees ignore. Not offering greetings to other Vaishnavas. Of course, it may happen accidentally. There are 100, 200 devotees in the temple. We cannot personally go to everyone and say, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. It may not be practically possible. But looking at a Vaishnava and turning our face away, that's a Vaishnava offense, deliberately. Vaishnava na abhinandati. Krandati, being angry at other Vaishnavas. Again, from a management perspective, sometimes, you have to exhibit anger. Not become angry, but exhibit anger just to be able to get some services done. But anyway, that's a different thing. But trying to be angry, what to talk about being angry at our, at our peers, but at our seniors, right? Krandati, and last but not the least, upajayate na harsham, not becoming pleased by seeing another Vaishnava. That's a very, very bad Vaishnava. So anyway, so there are different types of Vaishnava offense, yet sometimes common people, even devotees, they ignore Vaishnavas. But this shloka is saying that pure sadhus, underline, deliver even their prayers. They don't care. If you go to pure sadhus and you tell them, Prabhu, or if they are your Guru, Gurudev, or whoever, please forgive us for our offenses. The next thing they will say is, we do not take any offenses. That is the sign of a pure sadhu. They would not take our offenses, and they even deliver the offenders. There are so many examples. We have a short of time. So, Migrari, right, hunter, Migrari hunter. He was committing so many. He was committing great offense. But he came in contact with Narad, and Narad Muni delivered. He was an offender. Nal Kuber Mani Grief, right? He was They were offending Narad Muni, not respecting the presence of a great sadhu as Narad Muni. But Narad Muni did not have that vision. Narad Muni, of course, just to correct them, gave them a curse, but that curse had a blessing included in it, wherein both Nal Kuber and Manigriv, if you want to know more about this, hear about Damodar Katha. You can browse it online. So anyway, they came in contact with Narad Muni, and Narad Muni created an arrangement through which they could be delivered personally by the Lord himself. So this is the sign of a pure sadhu, that they even deliver the offenders. So we should be very careful about dealing with all the Vaishnavas, because only by Krishna Bhakti Janma Moola Hai Sadhu Sang, that Krishna, the Janma Mool, the very basis of Krishna Bhakti is Sadhu Sang. Sadhu Sang, Sarva Shastra Kai, Lab Matra Sadhu Sang, Sarva Siddhi. Even a momentary association of a sadhu, we can deliver ourselves. Again, there can be different levels of sadhus, Kanishta, Madhyam, Uttam, and the higher degree of or level of sadhu we associate ourselves with, the more our devotion will progress. But that does not give me a right to, for example, if I'm getting the association of a Uttam Adhikari or a topmost sadhu, I don't want to ignore or disrespect the Madhyam or the Kanishta Adhikari. So anyway, that's the beauty of sadhus, and Krishna will give us intelligence. Dadami buddhi yogam. That's what he's saying. Following the process of bhakti, dealing with Vaishnavas. Of course, we should read the scriptures and use our intelligence given by Krishna to deal with these sensitive matters. I'm just going to rush through the slides now. And only bhakti can give joy to the soul. Save pumsa paro dharmo yato bhakti ridokshaje ahetuki apratihata yayatma suprasiddhati. Only the unmotivated and uninterrupted devotional service to the Lord can completely satisfy the self. And this is where we began, discussed about ultimately our goal is to get bhakti. Why bhakti? Because, okay, you may say, oh, I have after following bhakti process, I have come in contact with Krishna and I have reached Krishna Loka. Now what? Why am I doing that? Because this process of bhakti is only process. The bhakti means loving exchanges with the Lord and His devotees both. Our movement is not about just worshipping the Lord. It's worshipping the Lord along with His devotees. That's why we have the Shad Goswamis, we have the entire Guru Parampara here, because it's worshipping the Lord along with His devotees. So coming in contact with devotees, worshipping them, serving them is the only way through which we can really satisfy ourselves. Right? So this is the only process. If we want to be happy and peaceful, this is the only process. Bhakti only can make that. And the price to pay for bhakti, Krishna Bhakti Ras Bhavita Mati Kritam Yadi Kuto Abhi Labhyate Tatra Lolyam Api Mulyam Ekam Janma Koti Sukritir Na Labhyate. Even if you exchange Janma Koti, unlimited births of pious deeds or whatever punyas, karmas that we have done, in exchange of that, if you get little bhakti, just do that without thinking twice, right? Because there is no price for bhakti, it is priceless. Anyway, we should get bhakti wherever we get. And just to kind of now, because we are at the end of our time, just to summarize, sorry if the text is too small, just to kind of summarizing through what we discussed. So we started with Krishna expands himself into many, because both Lord and devotees and the living entities can enjoy. That's his main idea of creation, right? And then he transmits this message of Bhagavad Gita through his devotees. And then living entities, some can be rebellious, they may not follow that message. Others who do, they can catch that process. And to enjoy, we must perform uninterrupted and unmotivated transcendental loving devotional service to the Lord. And by Bhakti Mukhi Sukriti, we get the Shraddha. By Shraddha, we get the association of devotees. And with the association of devotees, we get Bhakti. And only by association of devotees, we get loving devotional service to Lord Shri Krishna. So Sadhu Sangha, Sarva Shastra Kai, Lava Matra Sadhu Sangha, Sarva Siddhi. I apologize, I'm 5 or 6 minutes over. But hopefully today's conversation was a little helpful, practical, because there are some new devotees, there are some existing devotees. For new devotees, it's a great opportunity for them to know in advance, very much in advance, that we are very fortunate to come in ISKCON and come in contact with so many sadhus, different levels of sadhus. We must try and respect all of them and learn from them. And those who are devotees, they must also respect their peers, their seniors, Uttam Adhikaris, everyone, and give them due respect. And there's a beautiful song which Maharaj quoted last time from that bhajan Gurudev, and he's going to sing one line of that, which is Sakale Saman Kurilo Shakati Dehonath Yatha Yatha Tabhi to Gaibo Harinam Sukhe Aparadh Behata. If you want to sing Harinam forever and get rid of all our offenses, the key is Sakale Saman. You have to honor everyone. Korilo Shakati. Oh Gurudev, give me that strength through which I can respect everyone. Sakale Saman Korilo Shakati. Deho Nath Yatha Yatha. Accordingly, as much as they deserve. Kanishta Madhyam Uttam. Give them respect as much as they deserve, and then only Tabi to Gaibe Harinam Sukhe Aparadha. So with that, I'll rest my speech. Thank you so much for giving me time today to serve you all, and more important than more than anybody else, trying to imbibe these instructions of the Shastras for my own self. I apologize for anything I said which was not in line with our scriptural injunctions, or did not come out very pleasingly to you. So please forgive me for that, and thanks again for giving me an opportunity. So Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Sabhi Vaishnava Bhakton ki jai.
Grace Akshay Krishna Prabhu ki. Devotees will have a stand-up kirtan. Please place your mats on the corners. We will have stand-up.
Sorry.
Ramdev.
So if somebody has questions, they can see me after the class. I apologize. We did not leave enough time for the questions. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Thank you so much for joining on YouTube. Hare Krishna Conscious Day. Hare Krishna.